In this episode, we have an extraordinary guest that I've known for almost 20 years, Nakis Theocharides. Nakis is a high-performance coach, entrepreneur, HR professional, and a true leader in the fields of business development, sales, and personal growth. With a background in fitness and human resource management, he has combined his expertise with a deep passion for leadership and transformation. From his early days in the fitness industry to building a global sales force network of over 11,000 people, Nakis has been at the forefront of creating impact. As the founder of Greatnoûss Fitnoûss, Nakis has helped thousands of individuals, businesses, and athletes reach peak performance, while his experience as a human resources leader in hospitality and fintech has shaped organizational cultures at the highest levels. He has trained and mentored thousands across Europe, sharing his powerful lessons on leadership, mindset, and success. He's also an author of his own Greek book, Fitnoûss. In this conversation, we'll dive into Nakis' incredible experiences, his insights on building a winning mindset, mental toughness, and the key principles that drive success. Whether you're an entrepreneur, a leader, or just someone who's wanting to level up, this episode is packed with strategies for high performance, mindset, and goal setting. Sit back, get your notebook ready, and let's get started. Welcome to the Business Mentor Podcast.
Morning.
Welcome. I've known you for almost 20 years, and I've seen your growth and development and your career path as well. So it's a pleasure to do this. Let's get straight into it.
Yeah.
You emphasize high performance in your coaching. What are the key components of peak performance?
I will say first, it's in general results, although most of the time we focus on specific results, but everything results is everything around us. So high performance, I would say, is to put your maximum effort to do the best, either as a person or as an organization, with all the resources that you already have. So what is the peak performance with the resources that I already have today? Tomorrow might be another day with different resources. So how can I do my best? What is talent? Talent is something that I see and I say, okay, this person has a talent. This organization has many talents. So it's the result that I see on that particular time. So what if I was seeing the same person 10 years ago? Maybe I was gonna say it differently. Michael Jordan was cut from his high school team. Tom Brady, the greatest quarterback of all time, he was picked on the 199 pick of draft.
Oh, wow.
So when he was, 20 or 22 years old, all the experts, they saw him and they could not recognize the talent that he developed afterwards. So talent, it's what I have, how I was born. But it's a different question now. What do I want? It doesn't matter where I am today. The question is where I want to go. What kind of resources do I have to go there? Do I want to go there? And I do my best. If I go or not, that's a different story. But it's we're building ourselves through our goals, and by aiming on high performance, we do our best on an everyday basis. Either, again, as a person or as a team or as an organization.
So talent, we're born with a certain amount of talent, but talent depends on the resources you have and the work you put in to develop the talent you've got.
Yeah, to develop the result and develop the person to own that result in the future.
Yeah, awesome. Mental toughness is everything, yet most people crumble under pressure. What's your secret framework for mastering your mind and staying in control under any circumstance? Because I've seen you under pressure.
Yeah.
I've seen you're one of the most rock solid people I've seen and consistent in what you do. So how can people deal and increase their mental toughness?
Yeah, the reason why most people stop or quit or stop doing what they've said that they're gonna do, and they don't have mental toughness, the fact that their emotions are hurt. So we have the emotions and we have logic. So there are times that emotion help us because we feel inspired and we have the enthusiasm for what we want. And there are times that the emotion does not help us because something happens, I see the result, I don't like it, I get angry, I'm sad. So we know that emotions, after emotions, we take action. I mean, there is a sequence. So by our thoughts, we have emotions, we have actions, and by actions, ultimately we have the outcome and the result. So how I see this, we can work it out with the other way around. By having this result, I need to do this action. So the logic says that. I need to take this action. And okay, I don't have the emotion to do that, but I don't care. I'm going to do it anyway. And I will develop the emotion. And by developing the emotion, I'm going to have better thoughts. And better thoughts will have ultimately positive programming on that. So we have to be able to separate the emotion from the logic and be able to use the one that it's on our own advantage. For example, if I say I'm gonna wake up every day at 5 o'clock to go for a 30-minute run, I don't feel it because now it's winter, but logic says that I have to do it. So I'm gonna push my body to go until I will feel it. I mean, Michael Phelps, I mean, he got 23 gold medals, 28 Olympic medals. He said that every day I didn't want to go to practice. So, but he was doing it anyway.
He didn't miss a single day, did he?
Yeah.
Even Christmas Day,
But he
New
didn't
Year's
want
Day?
to, but he did it anyway because you are in love with the outcome.
Yeah.
Not with the, you don't need, it's not necessary to be in love with the procedure. Just do the procedure. If you love it, great. If you don't, no problem. We're just gonna do it because we need and we are in love with the result, with the outcome. So how you develop mental toughness? By being consistent on following what's it's on your own interest, either logic or emotion.
Right.
You have to be able to judge and balance because you need both. It's not that you don't need emotion. You need emotion because the emotion inspires us for action. By having the thought of I'm gonna achieve something, I get inspired or frustrated because I don't want to leave this and I want to go to the next level.
So what's the best way then? Is it to start with the action or start with the emotion?
Whatever it's on your own interest. If you are inspired to take action, take action.
Yeah.
If you need to take action because that is what it's a different direction that you want, just focus on the action because action is going to bring the results, not emotion. Emotion inspires action, but you have to do something.
Yeah.
I would say start with small steps and focus on the day because many people ask me how to develop discipline. Focus on the day. If you need 8 months to achieve your goal, forget the 8 months. Focus on today because that's the only thing that you have control and you can just do the 2 or 3 actions today.
Yeah.
Tomorrow's another day.
And tracking your actions is key, I believe, to build that momentum. So is there a tool you use, something you can advise for someone how they can track their actions? Because it's easy to skip a day.
Yeah.
I remember hearing, a habit is doing something every day. Skipping once happens, skipping twice is a new habit. So how do you track your progress?
Depending on the goal and the daily disciplines that I have, the routine that I have developed to achieve a certain goal. What I find very useful is the fact that I write my actions, even the small ones. I need to call you, I need to email someone. I write it because by writing it, I not only increase the possibilities to do it, I'm gonna do it anyway if I write it on my diary, but if you don't, you decrease the possibilities of doing it. So personally, if I write it, I'm gonna do it anyway.
Yeah.
There is no chance I'm not going because I have to highlight it in my diary.
Yeah. And you mean writing, but not typing?
Writing,
Not digitally.
Typing. No.
Yeah.
Writing.
Have you ever tried digitally and it didn't work for you and you decided to stick to writing?
No, for that this particular routine that I have, I always write it for years now.
Yeah, brilliant. I've noticed that in myself. I've noticed that digitally it can be a jungle and you can lose your notes, you can lose your different apps, but writing is there, especially if you've got one specific journal that everything is in there.
Exactly.
Brilliant.
I have some digital recording that I do also, but on an everyday basis, I use writing.
Yeah. Leadership is always a recurring theme in your work. I know you've always been obsessed with leadership,
Yeah.
and you've always trained all over the world with that. What are some of the differentiations between a good leader and a great leader?
First of all, if someone is a leader, it means that he or she has a following. So where she or he goes with that following, depending on the vision, on the belief, on the inspiration that this leader has, and the influence that this person has towards his following. There are different traits of leadership, and we've seen good leaders. Okay, the good or bad is it's a word very, but leaders that they have results, I would say, with different traits and different styles of leadership. I would say the most important is lead by example, be true to yourself, to what you believe, be transparent with yourself and what you, how you lead, and strength, impact, posture, knowing where you're going. So that's most important. That they come to my mind now, without preparing or having, because I've seen and I study a lot of people on how they behave, how they inspire action to their followers. So all of them influence them. So how do you develop this influence? How you can be this person to develop this influence? And what do people need? But John Maxwell said that the leader finds the dream and then the people. And the people find the leader and then the dream. So being true to yourself and to what you believe in, and if you need to create a following to accomplish this, you need to stick to your vision.
Amazing. Give me an example then of a great leader, one that you followed, one that's inspired you to really move into leadership and make that one of your central themes.
A great leader for me is Kobe Bryant. I was inspired by him because of his work ethic and how focused he was on, without doing the effort of gaining followers or influencing people, he was true to what he wanted. He was relentless and dedicated to his work, and due to the result that he accomplished and the fact that he was so dedicated, too many people were inspired by him without Kobe Bryant talking to them. And if you study his work and how he was behaving, you understand that he was, 100% focused on his mission. And because his mission needed other people, he found other ways, because at the beginning of his career, he was behaving with one way. Towards the end of his career, he was behaving with a different way, because he was studying, he was trying to find better ways to communicate with his teammates and but always focus with the result. So that's high performance. How can I develop this mindset of having a high performance on an everyday basis, and I can only control myself? I cannot control the actions of others, but I can inspire others if they want. So he was always digging and finding new ways and gaining knowledge from everywhere. He was studying, reading books, studying the video games, giving, amazing effort, working on each detail. So by doing that, you get inspired just with the work ethic that he was having. And that's how he inspired, so many millions in the world. And many players today, they say that Kobe Bryant inspired them. Leaders of this generation, they say that Kobe Bryant inspired them. Some of them, they didn't talk to him at all. Imagine, the impact that you can have just by staying true to who you are and doing your best. And be a high performer.
So studying the greats is a big clue in someone becoming great, right? And learning from people that are already been through that. And I believe you've read hundreds of books in all different topics, but mainly personal growth, emotional IQ, leadership. Can you name us your top 3 to 5 books. If we're talking to high-level managers, business owners, because that's what this podcast is about, or someone even starting beginning their career and building their own business.
Yeah.
You know, what are 3, 4, 5 books that you think are a must, adding to the library, study them?
One book that I always recommend is the 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership by John Maxwell. I consider it the best book on leadership because it's very to the point, clear. You can study it, you can read it, you can take action afterwards. So very clear laws, which are not only the only ones, but it's a good way to have if you are starting a new business or if you are having a business. I mean, you can judge yourself and make a self-assessment on how good am I following this rule. You don't need to follow them all, but you just have to have an idea on that. So many books. I mean, depending on the first books that I read, personal development books, was Think and Grow Rich, The Richest Man in Babylon, The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. That were the first ones, along with the 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership by John Maxwell. I like biographies a lot and autobiographies because I get into the mind, especially the ones that they wrote it. Arnold Schwarzenegger's Total Recall, the one that inspired me to create Fitnoûss after I read it. In the biographies, you get in the mindset how they think, what do they do, what actions they took. So you can find personal development everywhere because you take principles, you learn some principles, and you take through the story and the example, you take the principles and see how can I apply this in my life. Now, depending what goals each person has and each leader of an organization has, because by having goals, you're gonna find the right books. And if you go to if you write down your goal and you make a question, what can I do to accomplish my goal? And you go to a bookshop, you're gonna find some books because you are looking for something. And some books are gonna talk to you.
What's your advice to entrepreneurs and executives who struggle with burnout in maintaining high performance? Because I remember in the beginning of my career, in the early 2000s, we had a big separation between work life and home life. And then in the mid 2000s, in 2005, around there, the phones started getting into play, emails started coming in, and there was this talk about your work life and home life really beginning to merge. And now they're completely on top of each other. And I think many executives, business owners aren't switching off at all. Is that healthy? I mean, it's productive to a certain extent. So how can they avoid burnout and to increase their efficiency? Because I've noticed sometimes when I switch off for 2-3 hours at night, it can help me be a lot more effective the next day.
I will ask you a question. Let's say we have a high performer on a specific area and he's 18 hours, 20 hours, per day on his craft, and he's a high performer. Will he listen to us if we tell him to put balance in his life or something?
I don't think I'm talking to those people. Because if someone's doing that, they're going to be amongst the world's greatest. I'm talking about all the managers and business owners who, I don't know, you know what I mean? Because if you burn out, you're not effective.
I believe the issue, is the fact that they don't have goals in other areas of their life. That's because if they have goals, they're gonna have some disciplines for that goal, and they're gonna schedule accordingly their time, their actions, their energy. So what is work-life balance? Because I want to have a work-life balance, and my life, I don't do anything. I just go home. There's no point to be home and not doing anything. So I need to do something. That's how I feel good. Because by being productive and bringing results, that's how we feel good. If we are unproductive, we don't feel good. So, we need to relax, but this needs to be on schedule also. We need to relax our mind. And there are some times that we don't need to schedule anything, just home. There will be these days. We need to schedule accordingly. What are our goals in each area of our life? And what do I need to do to accomplish this? I mean, to maintain. Let's say I have a good relationship with my wife. How do I maintain this relationship?
Yeah.
Because that's a goal. If you don't have a goal, your goal is not having a goal. Because, I mean, life goes on. And if you are not taking any action, you are going backwards. So take the necessary action to maintain this goal, and that's your goal. You don't need to become better. Just maintain it on being at the same level.
Yeah.
Once you have a goal, you're gonna have the balance that you're seeking. By knowing what you want, I believe you're gonna find the best routine during the day on how to maintain this balance for you, because balance for you is a different balance for me, and different for any other person.
And different in maybe different phases of your life as well.
Exactly, yeah.
I remember in my 20s, there was zero balance. It was purely a work ethic.
Yeah.
You're in that building mode. 30s, maybe kids come in, it changes. So it comes at different phases as well. You can't work the same way in your 20s as you did in your 30s.
Exactly,
Jack Ma said, you know, in your 40s, it's all about, you don't have the stamina. It's about building teams and developing people. Yeah.
Exactly.
If you had a couple of minutes to rewire someone's mindset and turn them into a peak performer, what would you say? How would you flip the switch?
Just a decision apart. I mean, it's just a decision. I mean, on where this person wants to go.
Yeah.
It's just a decision and approved by taking action. I mean, guaranteeing the decision by taking action towards that.
Yeah.
Maybe a small action, but just take action and be consistent on that. So you just change the mindset by focusing on results. By focusing on results, you start changing. I mean, you are programming by not having a mindset, blah, blah, blah. But if you are focusing for a certain period of time, you have a new programming now.
Yeah.
Because you develop a new result.
Yeah. Brilliant. You talked about decision making. In business, in hospitality, it's a high pressure environment. There's events happening, there's VIP events happening, you've got marketing to do. How can leaders train themselves to make better and more confident decisions?
In hospitality, I mean, there are many things that happen without you not being scheduled. Different things happen. I mean, the operation is very fast. You have to have some certain routines or meetings or, I mean, certain things that you do as a team to bring the team together, give the direction, and be prepared to be flexible. And I mean, in the hospitality, I mean, what is that we're doing? We're doing what we create experiences. So we need to train people that this is what we do. We create experiences. We don't just serve the coffee. We don't just serve the food. But we, in the business of creating experiences, we want this person to live in that I had a great experience here. How do we develop this? I mean, each hotel, it's on a different level, but what is the kind of experience that you want to provide to your guests? And have the team think accordingly.
Yeah.
Because it's not just to clean the table, not just to put the coffee on. I mean, this happens everywhere. Yeah. But on creating experience and creating smiles to people's faces, you find ways to do that.
Yeah.
Even with a complaint, I mean, with a very bad experience that the customer had, that's an opportunity to create, to flip it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
That's the biggest opportunities I've noticed.
Exactly, yeah.
Because problems will always come, but it's how you deal with them.
We have a problem, great. Yeah. Let's create an experience for this person.
Yeah, it's wow them with the result that we can deal with that problem fast and make it even better than what they expected coming in. Moving on to hospitality.
Yeah.
And staying with leadership, you know, you were leading a HR department, I believe. So what were you looking for when you were hiring leaders in your organization? What makes a great hospitality leader?
I was giving and I give a lot of emphasis on culture. I mean, any person that gets in an organization, this person needs to be aligned with the culture, some certain values. So it's the organizational responsibility to define the values and train the values, and having the values in place in the operation through the procedures and the different actions that they take throughout the day. So when the new person comes, okay, you can see the person, but once this person comes to work, if the culture doesn't fit, he's gonna go by himself. But if the culture is not right, or you don't know what kind of culture we have here, then we have problems.
Yeah.
Because we have different people thinking with different ways, they cannot communicate, and they don't follow the vision, which is not defined.
Because you talked about creating great guest experiences, but there's a very high turnover in hospitality. Restaurants, hotels, cafes. It's a passing through industry a lot of the time. So what's the missing piece in HR and hospitality that could transform the industry, that could really keep people and make them see this as a career opportunity that they can grow and develop? Because it's an amazing industry. Every day is different. You're meeting people all the time. You're creating memories. What's the missing piece?
I will say again culture, because you are gonna see the hotels that they have a strong culture, they have the highest retention rates because they have the core team. Okay, we are in a very high competitive industry, so people are coming and leaving all the time, but the ones that they have a core team and well-trained core team that is aligned with the culture, they are able to welcome the newcomers, and they increase the possibilities of these people to stay. So organizations need to give emphasis on culture, and after culture to train on different areas of the department, how to do things and all that. But they focus on how to do things, but they don't pay attention to the culture.
Yeah.
And they make people come. Okay, I do the same work here. Can I do the same work on the other hotel? I'm getting €5 more on the other hotel, so I'm gonna go to the other hotel. So the people that they come, they don't pay attention to the culture because there is no certain culture.
Yeah.
With a good culture, you get in and you feel that it fits you.
Yeah.
If they want to leave to go to another culture because they don't fit with the culture, they can go. Because we need, as an organization, the people that fit with our culture. And we're gonna train them, because training, it's easy how to serve and how to do things. That is trainable. But you don't train the emotions. I mean, you lead and they come.
Yeah, because positive culture creates more work satisfaction, more loyalty. So what are some key things a leader can do to create that positive culture in their teams?
First of all, you speak with the leader. You understand the culture. And you ask the values, because the values of the leader, they are going down to the organization.
Yeah.
So it's very important to define what values do we represent, or what do we want to represent. Are we able to represent this? So we take the values, we take the vision, we find the vision, the mission, and by incorporating all this with the procedures that they do and the actions and how they serve the customer, do they represent the values by serving the customer? Because an organization that has values, you can stay 5 minutes within and you can understand what kind of, at least one value that they represent. Maybe they don't know that they represent it. So that's why we need to define and promote the specific the values in general. But you are more structured and you are more, let's say, purpose oriented by doing things. We do some things deliberately towards that direction that we want.
Yeah. So it all starts with an organization, a leader really clarifying their mission, their vision, and their values.
And this to create value for the people, and for the customer, for all the stakeholders. So by creating value, you get more people coming in to feel the value.
Yeah.
It's not just, we are just selling rooms or...
Brilliant.
That's why the human factor is very important in hospitality, in every industry.
Absolutely.
Because they give this emotion, and we're dealing with people.
If a young individual came up to you, maybe they're in their 20s, 30s, and they've got the hunger and they want to become a general manager and get into a leadership role in record time, what advice would you give them?
Highly invest in himself. Without balance. Without balance, because there is no balance. This person is going to set the balance.
Yeah.
I'm not the one to set the balance. I never say to anyone, train so many hours, work so many hours, because you're gonna judge what feels good for you, and without being influenced by external factors, because that's a trend now, work-life balance, we're all gonna do work-life balance. Doesn't work like that.
Yeah.
Because you might be in an organization that provides you other things, and you stay long hours, you don't care, and you take care of the other areas of your life by yourself because you are responsible. It's not the organization responsible.
Yeah.
If you are in an organization that doesn't respect your goals and your needs, okay, you can go. But these need to be aligned. The organization goals with the personal goals of the people that they work on. So that's why it's best for organizations to define their culture. What is our culture? What do we want to promote and what do we want to represent? Because they will attract the kind of people that they will give value to this organization.
Yeah. So to moving into a big passion area of yours, fitness, and you created Fitnoûss.
Yeah.
Can you tell us a bit more about that?
Fitness, and I got inspired by the book of Arnold Schwarzenegger, the autobiography, Total Recall. And after that, I set a specific goal for myself. I didn't have fitness in my mind or whatever. I just set a goal for my fitness, specific goal. So by doing that, I used the principles that I've learned from personal development. I was writing things down, being organized, discipline. I'm going to use this principle and focus on that. So I was taking different notes and created let's say a manual on that by achieving my goal. And I was always trying to figure out how can I help people that they have a fitness goal, either an athlete or an individual who wants to lose weight, for example, to stay focused by using the principles of personal development. By doing that, I said, okay, I just found the way. So I created Fitnoûss, which is mainly personal development with fitness. And we apply on fitness for Fitnoûss, but these principles can be used in any other area of your life. So what I say is Fitnoûss is the spear, the tip of the spear of personal development, because some people, they just want the goal and other goals in their life, but I want my goal for physical activity or in my sports, which I like. Especially we see that with teenagers, because if you ask them what they like the activity that they do. I play football, I play basketball, I play tennis. So they want the goal. So this is an opportunity for them to learn some principles. And these principles, once you apply them, you own them. And you can apply them in any area of your life afterwards, when you have goals from the university or in your business. So that's why I say it's the tip of the spear of personal development. That's why Fitnoûss was created first and Greatnoûss after, but now Fitnoûss is included in Greatnoûss because Greatnoûss it's the umbrella that has everything else on high performance.
Amazing. So how do you do that in Fitnoûss? And how do they apply these? Is it through training? Is it through personal coaching?
First of all, we started with workshops. It's an introductory, let's say, because only 3 or 4 hours, but you get the idea of start working on them. Now, as people work towards their goals, they find different challenges. So let's say they need another tool of principle to use to overcome this challenge. Maybe it's emotional, maybe it's their thought, how they think, their mindset. So apart from workshops, we have the coaching. And coaching is mainly on weekly sessions that the person or the athlete is committed to coming on a weekly basis and giving a report to me how they doing their daily disciplines. For example, they have a certain goal, and we set the discipline actions, which are the actions that they will take me to my goal with mathematical precision. That's how we define it. So we put the actions and we monitor, let's say, so this action, how well did you do it, percentage wise, the last week? And they think, the key is to think, how was Nakis previous week towards that action? On quantity, quality. And they say, for example, 80%, so why 80 and not 100? because I forgot, so we need to get more organized. And we find, answers, and we dig in the person's habits, and we learn the principles. Okay, there are teachings, because we go with the triptych: knowledge, application, result, through education and motivation. We use stories to show that these principles work, not to show the story. If I share my own example, it's not just to share my own example, just to share that the principle works. Kobe Bryant stories, Michael Jordan stories, Tom Brady story of a businessman. So we decode the principle from the story, and we see how can we apply this principle in our own example.
Yeah.
So that's how we do it.
Fantastic. So someone in their 40s and 50s, you can get a bit sluggish. I've been way out of having fitness in my routine, and it's hurt my performance. What can we do to unlock our mental and physical shape and get back into shape and stay consistent with that?
Goals. What is a goal? Now, a very good also, another thing that I teach is the fact that whatever you do it as an investment for your future. Let's say on the fitness area, I say to myself that I need to develop habits and routines that they will serve me when I will be 70 and 80 years old, and 90 years old, and 100 years old. So I need to develop this from now, because I'm not gonna think, touch wood, if I go to 70 and I have a health problem, and I haven't trained for 30 or 40 years, it would be very difficult in the future to start, okay, I'm gonna start a new habit. No, start the habit today. So this habit will serve you. It will be an investment. So what goals can I put down that I will create habits and discipline actions that they will serve me today and also in the future. So that's how we are being proactive for your health. Because they say that the people that they have heart attacks, most probably they will not have another one. Why? Because they change their mindset and they focus on your health. And then they train and they watch their nutrition. So it's an alert that you need to start doing. Don't wait for the alert. Just be proactive on it. And start small. Find a window in the day to do something, maybe in the office. I train in my office. I have Olympic rings in my office, and I train in my office because I'm busy, I want to be busy, and I find some windows, 30 minutes or 40 minutes, and I do my workout. Depend now what kind of activity you need to go and try what's best for you. What do you like most? Do you like in the gym, out of the gym? You like a certain sport? You need to give that, and that's what we do in fitness. If the person doesn't know how to train, we give a trial period of 1 or 2 weeks to go and try different things. See the one that fits for you, pay because you get committed, and start doing it. Because we need to develop habits that will serve us in general.
Yeah, amazing. And that all links to nutrition and sleep, right? Because it's all a recipe. So how can people optimize their sleep, nutrition, and stress management?
What helped me is to understand the principles of nutrition. I was not following nutrition, to my 30s. After 30, when I set the specific goal for my fitness, I paid attention to this factor because I didn't have any goal. I didn't have any issue. I was fine with myself. But when I said, okay, I'm not gonna achieve the goal by following the same, so I go to an expert to give me an advice. And by doing the recipe, I understood the principles. Okay, when you understand the principles, you can follow it by yourself. Okay, if you have now I go to a nutritionist because I have a specific goal. But if I want to maintain myself as I am, I know the principles. And by following the principles, you can have results. But you have to develop this because you are not going to develop it in a week or 2 weeks. You have to develop habits that can be done in a day, so they can be done systematically. And by doing that, you can achieve your goal. It's not difficult to achieve a goal. if it's easy to perform the discipline actions today, you can achieve the goal. Just be patient.
Any final thoughts on fitness for our viewers and listeners?
Take care of your health, because that's the only thing you have that gives you permission to enjoy the rest.
Yeah,
Actually, in my book, I found an essay that I did in English when I was 13 years old. And I found it after I did Fitnoûss. And I found this essay, it's on the book. I followed it with all the mistakes that I did as a 13-year-old. So I was talking like that for whatever reason, I don't know, but I was saying about health, and I was saying that health is 1, money is 0, family is 0, but if you don't have 1, you don't have anything. And somebody told me back then, most probably, but I was, when I found this, I said, was I thinking like that before? So pay attention to your health.
Yep, absolutely.
And we need to appreciate what we have today and be able to maintain. By appreciating what we have, we are focused on keeping it that way. If we are not appreciating, God has his ways on reminding us what we don't appreciate.
That's amazing, Nakis. Thank you very much, brother.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.